City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers, Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, Bay of Plenty Regional Council is proposing a general rates increase of $2 on average per property in their draft 2014-15 plan. Coordinators of the Treasure Rotorua Safe as Houses campaign are overwhelmed with the community's support, and Cyclone Lucy has local emergency services on standby alert. The Bay of Plenty Regional Council's draft annual plan was adopted yesterday with a proposed general rates increase of $2 on average per property, depending on where you live. The Council's draft annual plan for 2014-15 adopted is based on the year three of its 10-year plan. According to Chairman Doug Leader, it sets out the Council's key programs and projects for the coming year, how much they will cost and where the funding will come from. He says a lower increase than previously forecast was due to considerable savings made by implementing internal efficiencies. The draft annual plan is open for submissions from this Monday until the 17th of April. Copies of the draft annual plan are available on the Regional Council's website, boprc.govt.nz, or of course from the Regional Council offices. Coordinators of the Treasure Rotorua Safe as Houses campaign are overwhelmed with the community's support for their Kotu community project. The project offers residents information on reducing accidents in the home, safety devices and crime prevention. ACC injury prevention consultant Louise Kirk says the information has proved popular with residents.
The best thing that's happened within Kotu is that it was actually the Kotu residents themselves that invited us as the various agencies to come into the community, and I think that's what you need, and that's that wonderful collaboration between community and the agencies, rather than us as agencies going in there and saying this is what we've got to offer. They ask that we come to the community, and I think it would work well, not only as an extension of this program but throughout Aotearoa if communities and our agencies work a lot closer together.
The Bay of Plenty Civil Defence Emergency Management Group is preparing to manage any incidences once Cyclone Lucy hits the region this weekend. Regional Manager Clinton Nord says defence staff across the region are ready to respond and are tracking conditions. Rotorua District Council Emergency Management Coordinator Pauline Hitchcock says her team is on standby should they be needed. And for the latest on Cyclone Lucy's whereabouts, as well as the forecast for the weekend, watch our weekend weather roundup with Met Service straight after City News. And a great indoor activity this weekend could be a visit to the Rotorua Museum. Our reporter Alan Solomon took in the Age of Aquarius exhibition with curator Carl Chidham.
Now, where did the idea come from to do an exhibition on a 1970s revolution of fashion?
Well, this show actually came from the New Zealand Fashion Museum, which is an online museum, not an actual space, and they curate exhibitions of New Zealand fashion. So every year they do a new theme, and this year was the 1970s and the Age of Aquarius.
And in sport tonight, the sound of cowbells will be music to the Kia Magic when they meet the Southern Steel in their third round of the ANZ Netball Championships in Hamilton on Monday. With 2 wins on the road, Magic, who have the most successful home record of any team, are now looking forward to playing in front of their own supporters for the first time this season. The Magic take on the Southern Steel at Claudelands Event Centre on Monday, starting with the whistle going off at 7:40. Could be worth a trip over. And to your weather now, and the forecast for tonight is high cloud increasing, easterlies developing and an overnight low of a fairly mild 15. And of course a reminder again that every Friday you can plan your weekend activities with help from our weekend weather roundup with Met Service straight after City News. Still to come in tonight's program, we visit a spectacular new home at Te Tonga built with a 360-degree view of Rotorua. And I am at the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union referees field day held last weekend.
Well, way back in October 2012, we did a story about that section right there at the top of the hill. Now, we're going to catch up with Steve Perrott, who's a property developer in town, and he's just finished the build, and as you can see, it's pretty spectacular. Hi Steve, good to catch up with you again. Now, way back in October 2012, we came to see you and the start of your development here, and you just started digging for the foundations. 18 months later, or 15 months later, are you happy with the end product?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all gone to plan, and budget was slightly blown, but well, look at the result.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, like I said, it's been 15 months to get the building finished. What sort of obstacles and challenges do you have to overcome?
Really just the whole management of the work involved, like organising subcontractors and builders and everyone else involved in the build. And you know, at times I'd come up here and there'd be 15 to 20 people working on the site, and I was the T-boy, so I was running around after everyone making sure it was all ticking along.
So you're quite heavily involved with the actual build itself?
Yeah, well, not the build, but the organisation of you know, materials and all the tradies and subcontractors.
Was it what you expected? Because I know you're a property developer, and you know we've done dealings together before, you know, way back in the past. But was it sort of what you were expecting to happen?
No, it was quite challenging actually, especially when it all started to come together at the end. There's just a lot involved, and also choosing what was going to go into the house at the same time. Yeah, it was a bit of a headache actually, but everyone came together, and I was just impressed with everyone that worked on it.
Have your friends and family been up to have a look?
Yeah, all been up. Yeah, well, Christmas Day was the day we're all going to sort of celebrate here, and we got in here 2 days before Christmas, so we just made it.
Had a big party, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, now I know our viewers at home are willing to keen to have a look around, so shall we go upstairs and have a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now Steve, this is obviously the main living room area. Now I'm not an interior designer or an expert by any chance, but obviously the indoor-outdoor flow is absolutely superb. Is that the effect you're after?
Yeah, it was always the effect we were looking for. The design started 3 years before the spade was dug in the ground, and we sort of spent a lot of time getting the design right so that there weren't going to be any changes along the way. But we wanted the kitchen, dining, lounge area to be the heart of the home, and everything else is skirted around it.
And again, that view, look at it, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I bought the site 8 years ago, and every time I look out there, I'm still blown away.
Yeah, it takes your breath away, doesn't it?
Incredible.
Now it's coming into winter, Steve. How do you heat your home?
We've got in-slab heating here, so come April, May, when it starts to cool down, we'll get the gas burner fired up, and that heats up a kilometre of piping through the concrete floor. And for a bit of backup heat, we've got a gas ducted fire here, so that delivers heat down to the back of the room. And
is it that unit that looks like a fish tank?
Yeah, it does look like a fish tank, doesn't it? But yeah, as soon as the flames come to life, you realise it's there for heating, not for fish.
Or cooked fish. What about the technology in the house? Because I know when we walked up and had a look at the front door, I was like, oh, there's a bit of a spaceship going on here.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of tricky stuff as far as the security goes, with the door lock, and then we've got a built-in alarm also. We've got sensors right around the house, so you can't get within 15 metres of the house without tripping a sensor, and 40 odd lights come on and sort of place lights up like a Christmas tree. We've got what have we got? We've got an audio system here throughout, integrated. We've got the big wide draw dish drawers. We've got heated under tile heating, heated towel rails.
So you've got all the mod cons?
All the mod cons that go with most new builds today.
Hi Steve, we just come up the stairs here, and it's just absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, it blows me away still, and well, it's only been a few months, but yeah, every time I look at those windows, I'm just blown away.
So is this the master suite?
Yeah, the entire top floor is dedicated to the master suite, so we've got a full-on suite here and a lounge at the other end, a walk-in wardrobe in the middle, and of course the views out the front that we wake up to most mornings.
What does your partner think?
Yeah, I think we're still sort of like coming to terms with the whole thing, because it's it's a little bit different to what we're used to. I come from a little 2-bedroom flat in town, and fully enclosed neighbours and things, but here it's sort of we're out in the sticks, so to speak.
It must be nice, obviously waking up in your bed and looking out that window. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it is. First thing I do in the morning is flick the blinds and watch the sun come up. Yeah. And yeah, it's just incredible.
Oh, Steve, now we've just come outside onto the balcony of the master suite. The view is just magnificent. You can't beat it.
No, and everyone that comes up here has been blown away by it. It's just, you feel like you're somewhere else. We've got the view of the forestry there and the red stag mill in the background. That's the Pahuta geyser over to the left there. It really views as far as you can see.
And obviously the lake, man, over the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Steve, we just come down to the bottom of the property. Now, it looks like you've done a fair amount of landscaping down here. How long did that take you?
Well, I sort of started working on this 8 years ago when I first purchased the property. It had a lot of old pines removed, and yeah, just cleaning up the property. It was covered in gorse and blackberry and wattle, and just started from scratch. And as you can see over the back there, planted out probably 300 or 400 natives, just to stabilise the steep slope and you know, attract the native birds.
Cool. Now, we just come out of the master bedroom. How many other bedrooms have you got in the house?
So we've got 2 other guest rooms downstairs. Each one of those is a full ensuite. The whole house was designed around being able to be used as a bed and breakfast or holiday accommodation. So each one of those rooms has got you know, the full ensuite. And the guests, you know, they've got their own area to relax in.
Have you had any guests since you've have finished the build?
Yeah, we've had a few, and we've got a few, quite a few inquiries, and lots of bookings coming up. So we're excited about what's coming up.
Can I ask you how much you spent?
On the build?
On the build?
It was slightly over budget. I think it was somewhere around 750 to 800. Over budget, but it's just something you can't control when it's sort of, especially near the end of the project. Yeah.
Have you got any idea how much it's worth now?
It was valued just prior to completion at somewhere around 1.2, but it cost a lot more than that, including land. So no idea, but it's up there.
It's not something you're going to sell, is it? Not just yet, anyway.
Not just yet. I'll enjoy it for a little while.
Cool, Steve. I appreciate your time, and awesome job that you've done here.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Appreciate seeing you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
On Sunday, I attended the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union's Referees Field Day in Te Puke. The field day was open to all current and potential referees. I caught up with referee manager Brent Jenkins to find out more about the aims of the day.
Obviously, there's a pretty good turnout here today, a little bit of, for the viewer at home, I guess, a little bit of a background as to why you have a field day at the beginning of the season. And it is just that, isn't it? It's the beginning of the season.
It's very much the beginning of the season. Our season kicks off on about the 29th of March, so we're about 3 weeks away. So it's a good day for us to touch base with each other, get in touch with what new laws are about for this year, and just clarify a few issues that we have for the season coming ahead.
How difficult is it when you're looking at the last couple of seasons? There have been some changes, particularly around the scrum calls and things like that. How difficult is it to set an agenda so that the guys here today, and the girls too, go away a bit more informed?
It's not too bad. The changes have been fairly minor for the last few years. There was quite a major change happened about 3 years ago, and since then they've just been tinkering with the scrum engagement particularly, and then we have various focus areas that New Zealand Rugby Union prioritise each year that we just sort of work on so that we can try and improve the game. So it's not too strenuous to get up to speed.
One of the things to bring home here today too is the fact that you had Bryce Lawrence, of course very experienced international referee. His talk went down extremely well, but all the way from that top level right through to the newest recruits, both male and female, it's an interesting involvement for people, isn't it?
It's a great thing to get involved in. I personally love being out on the field in the middle. It's mentally and physically challenging, but very satisfying at the same time. It has its moments where it becomes very testing, but overall it's a very satisfying thing to do.
How much appreciation is there, again just for the viewers at home, how much appreciation is there by people, by the general public, even on the sidelines, that these guys are out and about every Saturday giving up their time, because it's a voluntary thing, they're not paid?
Generally, appreciation is very good. The vast majority of people are very appreciative of the referees out there, and you get a lot of thank yous after the game for your efforts on the day. So there are the odd occasions where things don't go quite so well, but they're fairly rare, I'd have to say. And the Bay Union has got a very big push on it this year with regards to stamping out abuse of referees and players and what have you. So there's a big push happening this year to try eradicate it from our game.
Obviously, you're constantly wanting to recruit new referees, both young and old, and I guess it's a matter also of saying to guys, if you've played a lot of rugby before, and you're not quite as active in that sense, sum it up for me, Brent. Who are you after?
Well, yeah, we're after anyone pretty much. Our numbers are pretty short, so obviously young guys that are playing rugby, we're more than happy to get involved. Our senior panel is quite old now, so we're looking for young guys to step up and really take their chances up there. And another target area is ex-players, obviously people that are injured, have injury problems and can no longer take the hits, basically. Their bodies aren't coping with it, so they're ideal candidates. They have a prior knowledge of the game, that helps them in the refereeing.
And again, just finally, appreciate your time. How do people get in touch with you or anybody else to join up? Is it the old 0800 referee?
There is 0800 referee, or just contact me, Brent Jenkins, the referee manager at Bay of Plenty Rugby Union.
And that was Bay of Plenty Rugby Union referee manager Brent Jenkins. And stay with us. Coming up after the break, we have more on the referees' field day.
Obviously a pretty good turnout here today, so from your point of view it must be quite gratifying to see this as a good beginning to the refereeing season.
Yeah, it is good. They're a really committed group of people dedicated to rugby, so yeah, it's great to see them have a day like this to start the season off and have a bit of fun with it and hopefully set them all up for an enjoyable season.
One of the things about a field day like this at the beginning of the season is to brush up on some of the changes, and there have been a few, not a lot, but they are fairly major changes, particularly around the scrum call.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I think that's the challenge of being a referee. There's always law changes, there's always changes in the way the game's being played or how it's expected to be managed. So it's I suppose part of our game, and a really good chance for referees to learn and discuss all those changes to make sure they get it right for the players and the team. So
how difficult is it? I mean, you'd appreciate it as an operations manager. How difficult is it to pull together the interested parties? You've got your coaches, you've got your managers, you've got your players, and you've got your referees, and communication among those is important these days.
Yeah, that's right. It is really important. It's all the different forms of communication there are. But I think like a day today, it's nothing better than to get everyone in a room and discuss those points and clarify any things that people aren't so clear on. So we'll be doing the same with our coaches in terms of clarifying those rule changes, outlining some priorities for us as a union, and hopefully those messages will be sort of filtering down to the players, where ultimately that's where the players really need to know those rules so they can have an enjoyable game.
Yeah, so a little bit about this initiative, and obviously it's brought about for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. So we've come up with a slogan called "For our game to grow, abuse must go." And we aim to sort of, really our slogan just to keep in the forefront of people's minds, just to keep them thinking about that it's actually, it's not right to abuse referees, it's not right to abuse, officials, it's not right to abuse, people on the sideline or players. And ultimately, for our game to become more popular, we need to get rid of that abuse, and we need to make our sidelines more friendly, more fun, and for the focus to be on the game instead of one or two idiots who may cause a situation on the sideline.
You've come up within that initiative of some vests that we're going to be seeing a lot more at games, which has got to be good. It's visual.
Yeah, that's dead right. Yeah, putting it in front of people's minds, I suppose. So we've come up with 2 or 3 initiatives. The main one will be the vests. So each team from secondary school level up to senior level They'll have 3 vests per team, bright lime green vest with the slogan on it, and that'll hopefully, if someone does, I suppose tend to take things into our own hands, we can just remind them of that slogan and just come and settle down and just focus on the game. So that's one thing. We've also done, we've changed a couple of little processes around our team sheet, so we'll have the ability to see what the sideline behaviour is like at each game, and the referees to report back to us, and then we can sort of take that situation a bit further and discuss with clubs to see whether they've got their processes right. And the last thing really, and really is maybe the main thing, is where we've got clubs where they enter teams, they have to sign up to a code of compliance, and really that just sets out how teams should manage their days, what their hosting responsibilities are in terms of hosting teams, hosting referees, make sure they're welcome, and in terms of the setting up of grounds, making sure they're safe, and just managing the grounds so that the spectators play the game and respect the people who are putting on the game.
I was talking there to the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union's operations manager Neil Alton at the referees field day in Te Puke last Sunday. Don't forget, if you'd like to see the show here at City News again, visit our website cdrotorua.co.nz, and to call the channel and talk to one of our team 07 3488 984. Thanks for watching and having us at your place. Kamari.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers, Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.